conversation needs to happen now. And I just realized that this morning very, very clearly, that I have had a lot of conversations with myself in my subconscious, not even really aware of it, but a lot of conversations with myself, and it has dictated how I feel. And what I mean by that is this morning, my dear client and friend Paige posted on her social media an article about all of the shootings and what we need to do about it. And it was painful to read all the accounts of all the terrible shootings that have happened. And I wrote an entire, pretty much essay on what I felt was the thing to do and what I felt we needed to do as a society, as individuals in the society. And you can see that, in my post, but I didn't realize how much that conversation over the internet via social media really sat with me and opened up kind of Pandora's box, because we went to school. I went to drop my son off at school, and across the street is like housing. It's across the street from where his school is. And there was a police officer that was there, and I didn't think much of it. Maybe somebody just needed help or something, or somebody got pulled over, but he was faced the wrong way. So I knew something else was going on. So I dropped off my son, was talking to his teacher, and then I go to pull out, and now there's 2 more cops there. So there's a total of 3 now. And something in my gut just said, this isn't good. This isn't good. And I pulled off, and I thought, oh, you're just overreacting. Oh, you're just being ridiculous. And I pulled off. Then I turned back around. And as I'm turning back around to come talk to the police officers, another police officer drives up and parks in this area right across the street from my son's school. And I said, that's it. I pulled over, and as soon as that cop was getting out of his car, I got out of my car, and I said, look, excuse me, I just need to ask you, is everything okay here? And he's like, oh yeah, I said, my son is right across the street, and I just want to make sure that everything's okay. And he said, oh no, everything's fine. You don't have anything to worry about. And I just started crying so hard. And I said to him, I'm sorry. I said, just with, all the shootings and stuff, it's just kind of scary now. And he said, I totally understand. He said, I would never put you or your son in jeopardy. This is all okay. And I just said, thank you. And I just went in my car and I cried so hard, because I didn't think in a million years that I would have to be worrying about my son at school. And I think it's worth a conversation. I think it's worth the conversation. I think it's worth us standing up and talking more. And I talk about this in the post, that I believe that people slip through the cracks. I believe that people are good. Working with 30,000 kids over the past 25 years, what I know for sure is there is no baby that's born that's evil. There is no baby that we look at and say, gosh, that's just pure evil. This child's going to be, a menace and nuisance to society. We look at them with love, and something happens along the way, and I'm not quite sure what happens, because everybody's story is very different. But what I will say is something happens along the way, and I think it's our responsibility as society members to lift each other up along the way, to notice when that person's falling, to notice the people that are struggling, and to do our best, if anything, to just notice them, to know that they matter. Because I didn't realize how deeply, deeply wounded and how bad I feel about the state of where we're at right now, because my son is in a safe school, in a safe place, and yet I had a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go get him right now, and we're going home. And I think it's a beautiful conversation, and there's no coincidence I read that post this morning and this all happened, because I don't have the answers. And I say that in my post. I don't have the answers. What I know is the solution for me is to start noticing people, to start showing up, to start having these conversations, because what I know for sure is government and any one person is not going to fix this. It's a collective. We collectively need to fix this. We collectively need to come back to who we are. Love. When we're born, love. That's what we need to come back to. So, this was a hard conversation today, and I didn't realize all the conversations that have been going on in my soul without me consciously present, because the level of fear that I had this morning was unimaginable for me. And I'm so compassionate towards people that have actually gone through this, because I just can't. So this is not my new normal, and hopefully it's not our country's new normal. But what I do know is I'm showing up, I'm having the hard conversations, and I hope in some way you show up too and have these hard conversations, because nobody should drive away from their kid's school feeling like they might not see them again. I love you all.